All right, Merry Christmas and hello to everybody. Brief video here about free trade. First of all, free trade, as you might understand it, is of course a myth, and how the government understands it is also a myth. There is free trade to the extent that it exists for corporations. Corporations are allowed to open manufacturing facilities in other countries and manufacture goods that were previously manufactured in the United States and then ship them into the United States duty-free. So it should be called tax-free trade for corporations. Now, free trade, true free trade, would involve, number one, the ability of anybody in the United States to, for example, let's say you like a particular car that is made in France, a Peugeot, for example, and you saw this car online and you wanted to order it. And obviously Peugeot does not sell cars in the United States. You should be able to go onto an online configurator, order the vehicle you want. The standards of vehicles in Europe are exactly the same as the standards of vehicles here, safety and otherwise. And you should be able to order that, get it shipped, and shipped into the United States. And you shouldn't have to pay a duty or a tax or anything else. The reason why you're not able to do it is because you, as an individual, we as individuals, do not have the right to engage in free trade. When you come back from overseas, you're asked at the customs checkpoint, do you have anything to declare? And if you have something to declare, well, there's the very high possibility you will be charged a duty, a tax, to bring whatever you bought in a foreign country into the U.S. because you have to be taxed on that, whereas a corporation is not taxed. So it shouldn't be really called free trade. It should be called tax-free trade. That's exactly what it is. There is no reason why, as on an individual basis, why if you liked, let's say, a particular set of shoes that is manufactured in Zimbabwe, that you shouldn't be able to simply go to the website, order it, and have the shoes shipped into the U.S. without paying a duty or anything else. The reason why is because, first of all, corporations act as middlemen in these transactions. So while there is some ability of an individual to order foreign goods, it's very limited. And it's limited to what some corporation decided they're going to allow to come in. Now, think about that for a second. It's not the individual that can engage in free trade. There is, of course, free trade between the states, if you want to call it that, commerce. But free trade, as is understood by international agreements and made by the United States and other countries, is free trade for corporations. A corporation can decide that it used to manufacture staplers in the Bronx in New York. Well, it doesn't want to do that anymore. It wants cheaper labor, so it opens a factory in another country. But in addition to not paying a fair wage, that company also is allowed to re-import the product into the United States duty-free. So it can sell, or tax-free. So it can sell the same stapler that it used to make in the United States at a higher rate of labor, higher rate of costs or associated costs, but then can sell it, manufacture it much cheaper overseas and sell it for the same price. Do you understand what is going on here? How you have been fooled by this concept of free trade? Free trade should be limited to the ability of individuals to transact across borders and across nations without duty, not corporations. Corporations should be taxed if they decide to import a product back into the United States and manufacture it somewhere else. It's very, very simple. And there's one reason, though, why you have allowed, the people who vote, have allowed this to happen. It's because you want a cheaper, not always, but you want, because you don't always get it cheaper, you want a cheaper product. You are continually told cheaper is better, and you're willing to pay $2 for a t-shirt that if you bought it from a company that manufactured it in the United States might be $25. So you have to, as an individual, connect your consumer choices with your political desires. Otherwise, we will continue to be the country we are today, which is 80% service and 20% manufacturing. It's not anybody who did this, but you. You did it to the country. You voted for people who you believed the rubbish they sold you about free trade. And 45 years ago, America was 80% manufacturing and 20% service. So unless you get your head out of your behind and stop thinking that corporations are trying to do you a favor, you are never going to get this country back to where it should be, where we have a vibrant manufacturing base and we also have a service industry. But service jobs are not the type of jobs that are going to pay what people need to live in the United States. So please start paying attention. Thank you.